All right, so I'm officially done with my 3 months of rehab for my rotator cuff surgery. In the description below, I've listed what I had done on this left shoulder, which is pretty intense. I've made quite a few videos and I still will, but they're meant really for me to kind of document my journey, kind of as like a video diary. However, this video is about anything that would help you or a family member or friend go through rotator cuff rehab. So I'm going to go through tips, tricks, and products kind of that I used that I wish I would have known before I started on this process. So first off is I did get a recliner and I did sleep in that for about the first week or two. Then I moved to my bed, which I talk about getting really good pillows if you can do that. But there's a lot of people that once you're in that sling for the first 6 weeks, all day, all night, you usually sleep in a recliner, which is typical. The next thing that I would say really early on that I used a lot was this ice machine. And I would run it all day, all night sometimes. I'd have to have help. Would go on like this, kind of looks like a stingray to me. And then there's these straps that would go on. And I got mine from the actual surgery. I went home with it. And then that hooks into a bin where you put your ice. I used about an entire bag of ice a day, a fairly good sized bag. But I have heard of people taking these types of water bottles, freezing them, and then putting them inside there. I think like 3 or 4, and then your cold water. I found the ice worked the best. All right, next, what else did I use early on that I didn't even realize? I've always flossed with these flossers, but I was kind of thinking, what if you're used to using the string, you don't have 2 hands? So I'd recommend getting some handheld flossers. That was also a good idea. And like a spray type deodorant, if you want to even wear deodorant, just so that's easier to put on, especially under that sling if you're gonna be wearing it. The other thing somebody asked me about was shaving. I was able to kind of shave with this hand like this and then lean over like this, but honestly, there was a point where I just didn't care. I just didn't shave my armpits. That's the way it goes. So, I mean, if it's important to you, then, maybe try to find a shave that's like a little longer because you're gonna have to kind of bend your wrist to be able to do that. Okay, so those are the other 2 products I would say I recommend. The other thing I didn't think about was just like clothing, from shoes that you can slip on or flip-flops to just stretchier types of clothes or bigger clothes, or something that you can button if you wanted to, or snap. There are things you can buy. I was able to just wear bigger things or try not to avoid putting my shoulders and things. So I would wear a lot of just more tanks I could just kind of put on, and then like a zip up and anything I could put on with one arm on the bottom. The other thing were headbands, because I couldn't put my hair in a ponytail until about 2 weeks ago myself. So I wore headbands a lot, just like that, and clips. So that's kind of was my fashion statement for my hair. Blow drying it, I would say I could just blow dry it with one hand for the longest time, but then I was able to start using both hands. What else? I also used this beach towel a lot when my physical therapy had to be started. It would go underneath this arm, and it was nice and strong and tough versus a pillow, and then a yoga mat that I used all the time, and that's in quite a few of the videos. I don't know if I talked about these, but I used peas a lot. So when I couldn't use the ice machine, and I still use these still. I had to buy a couple new containers full, but and a small one and a big one. That was great for icing for just myself. Next, I did buy a cane at one point. That's easier to do all my physical therapy exercises nice and strong. So I did get that. Once I got out of the sling or started to do more exercises like this one, this I got from my physical therapist, goes on a door, and I show that in other videos. That's actually helped me get my range of motion like that in the back, or pulling this up, which I can do now without it. So I'm getting to the point where I'm still using this, mainly just for trying to get this motion and behind my back better. The other thing I noticed when I got out of the sling was I was super sore here and back here besides the elbow. The elbow pain is gone now, which is wonderful. And my incisions area is still sore, but it was the muscles in here and in the back were really tight. So that was helpful. Of course, you're still maybe taking some Advil, Aleve, Tylenol, that kind of thing. The other thing you could use instead of this is I was told to take a tennis ball, put it behind my back, and then just kind of rub it around the back. I found this kind of challenging to do because the tennis ball would slide up like it just did, and I had to slide it back down. So that ended up being kind of a pain. So I just got this instead. The other thing people have used is this almost like a J hook, and you can kind of rub your back where it's sore. There's people that use this without even having a rotator cuff surgery, and then that gets into those areas that are sore, and I guess you could kind of just use this on the front like that. So it looks like that. Again, you can get those online or at a store. The other thing I had to move up to using was a weight. You start with 1 pound weights. And this water bottle is 1 pound, this size. And so these were just some of the things I have to do. And then I would lay on the floor and I would do the ABCs. So that's a 1 pound weight that you don't have to buy. 2 pounds, I guess you could just get a bigger water bottle, might work. Or you can then just buy a 2 pound weight. That's a 2. And so that's about where I'm at, 2 pounds. So I can start going like that with those and do my exercises. And then soon I'll move up to 3 pounds. At this point, I'm not supposed to lift more than 5. All right, I think I got everything. The other thing I did was my daughter made me that happy bracelet, but I also decided to make 2 other bracelets with my little quote about being positive and patient, just to kind of remind me. My cat's going to join us in the video here. Just to kind of remind me. She wants to make an appearance. There she is. Now she just knocked that down. So there we are. That's Luna. And impromptu video. I'm just going to keep it. So she, I don't know what I was saying. The cat just likes to join in. So that helped when I was doing my physical therapy was the weights, but you can still just start with just a water bottle for a 1 pound weight. All right. Oh, it was the bracelets. Yeah. The other thing I did was I went and got a pedicure. That was super nice. That's just something to kind of spoil yourself because you have a really hard time dealing with your own feet. Like I said, literally getting them in shoes is already a challenge, and socks. So I end up getting a pedicure, which I would recommend spoiling somebody with that if they've had rotator cuff surgery or any time really. All right, I think I covered everything. Sorry about the cat sneaking in, but might be the best part of the video. So I think that's it. If you have any questions or comments, you can put them below. And I hope you watch the other videos. That's my progress. But again, they're really meant for me. But if they help you, a family member or a friend, that's great. And again, my daughter's bracelet that's almost worn off that says be happy. And then my motto is patience and positivity. And you'll get there. So if you're somebody who's watching this and you're still stuck in that sling, you will get sad and mad, but I promise it'll get better. All right, good luck.